Hi, my name's John Davies. I work with Pervade software. Now, we got voted one of the most innovative cybersecurity companies in the UK. I'm pretty proud of that. But I'm going to take a few minutes just to explain what we do and how we do it, and then I guess you can make your own mind up about that. The first thing to say about our product is that it all fits onto one single central server. So we can have all functionality in one place, whether it's on the network or on the cloud, and then everything that we do builds out from this single server. So if you were to plug a data collector into this server, this data collector can gather any data type from any device, from any location. Now that's pretty unique in the marketplace. So let me see if I can give you some examples of that. We have an organization that has got a data collector put into every one of its offices across 83 countries. It gathers all of the data from their computers, their servers, their desktops, all of their IT infrastructure, switches, routers, etc., and then pushes that data back to their central data center in Poland. From there, they can see the network, see everything that's happening on the network, identify attacks, identify vulnerabilities and threats, and notify the local IT teams about what they need to do to fix it. So that's an enormous scale of operation, all off one server, from single data collectors in each of those locations. The other thing we can do is we can collect, rather than IT data, some SCADA data. This is industrial control system data. So we can get data from power stations and from factories and merge that and correlate it with the IT systems. So if somebody's trying to penetrate maybe a power station or a nuclear refinery or something like that, and they're going in via the IT systems, we can see both of those sides of the equation, and we'll spot those attacks where nobody else would. We can also punch it into the cloud. We can put it into the back of applications. Believe it or not, we can even monitor other monitoring systems. So it's a wonderfully flexible and very comprehensive system. Another person who's using this is the UK police. So the UK police are putting these data collectors onto sites within their jurisdictional area. They gather all of the information that's pushing into those sites. And what the central server does is it sifts out anything that isn't attack data. If it's legitimate traffic, we don't care. But it'll find all of the attack data. The next thing it does is it'll take that attack data and see how much of it can be geolocated. Probably about a third of it on average can be geolocated. So we've now got this geolocated attack data. We then want to look at it and say, well, where's it geolocated to? Where are we being attacked from? Anywhere that's being attacked from outside of the UK, they're not interested in. So they delete that information because they can't follow it up. They're the UK police. So they can't be dealing with international crime. That has to be dealt with by a different entity. So they're just narrowing it down to the UK. Each individual police force can then narrow it down even further and say, is the victim in my jurisdictional area and is the criminal in my jurisdictional area? Now you'd imagine we've just taken masses of data and crunched it down and down and down and down, and now there's practically no data left. But believe it or not, an awful lot of cybercrime takes place locally. This is going to be disgruntled employees. They left the company they work for. They decide they're going to take it out on them with a cyber attack. It could be students that are playing around in schools or colleges. I'm sure you don't do that kind of thing. And we want to pick that up as well, because they'll typically be attacking local organizations and local things that they know about. It might be somebody that's been badly treated in a restaurant or a garage or some other service organization wanting to get some revenge. You'd be surprised how much cyber attacks are actually going on locally. And this system can capture all of that information, feed it to the police, and the police instantly know that they can act on it because it's a local criminal attacking a local victim. So this is the police cyber alarm system. It's a good example of how we use this platform. You could ignore this data collector, park that, put it to one side, and instead plug in what we term a spider. Now a spider, instead of being something that runs queries into devices, a spider is something that literally, from a software perspective, crawls all over that device, gets underneath, gets inside the applications, gets inside the data itself, and sniffs around for keywords, any code names, any product names, any code that might be hacking code or viruses, and they'll sniff around and try and find that. Now, spiders are typically, they can be used anywhere, but they're typically used on the dark web. So we have this spider out into the Tor network and other dark webs, and what we do with it is we drop it in and we're looking for threat information, any malware that we want to pick up the code from. We might be seeing threats, so maybe there are some threats onto local MPs, or there are threats to local dignitaries. We might see threats that an organization or a company is going to get hacked, and we'll see that information. So we'll gather all of that data from inside the dark web, and we'll pull it back to this central server where that's going to get analyzed. So let me give you a couple of examples. We've got an enormous law firm. It's one of the top 20 law firms in the world. They have a central server, and they have spiders that are out crawling the dark web all the time. They look for data or information about their high value, high net worth individuals. So these are typically actors, musicians, stars, people that could well have information about them on the dark web that they wouldn't want out there. And I'm sure you can imagine the kind of information I'm talking about. They, as a firm of solicitors, will be scanning that dark web. If they find it, they'll immediately help to mitigate having that potential publicity hit that individual. Another good example is, again, the police. So the UK police use this platform to scour the dark web for criminal activity. And their entire dark web intelligence gathering system is built off this platform. So this is the exciting end of cybersecurity, it has to be said. Our team prefer working on this one to this one. We have another one as well. This one is all about compliance. Sounds a bit more boring, compliance, but actually doing that auditing and auditing systems, making sure that you've got all of the information you need from every single device on your network, and finding out if that device is secure, has all of the right software on it, has all of the right antivirus running, the antivirus is up to date. If there's a hack comes out, literally within a day, you want to be you want to be finding out all about your devices and patching them to make sure that that hack can't get in. And then you want to be proving that to auditors, so that the auditors can give you certificates and certifications and show that you're compliant with regulations and laws. And we have a platform that allows people to do this. Now, I'll give you an example of where this happens. There's a scheme in the UK called the Cyber Essentials Scheme. This is UK government scheme to make sure that every single organisation comes up to a minimum level of cyber. It's called Cyber Essentials Scheme. And this is the platform it runs on. So we have a central server with all of these organisations in the UK, all logging on, all answering questionnaires about their cyber capability. So this is what we do. We have a single platform that can do the job of all monitoring systems and gather data from any device. We have software spiders out on the dark nets, gathering information, gathering threat intelligence, and pushing it back into the same central server. And then we have questionnaires, assessments, surveys, and audits being run constantly using the same information, all on that one single platform. So that's a typical example, hopefully, of a cyber company and the capabilities. And keep your studies up, because actually we're constantly looking for good people to come and work for us, as are all of the cyber companies in the UK. Thanks for listening.